the adventure journey from St. Philomena's High School in 1987. The journey what we started as a small adventure like exploring in the Western Ghats. And from down the lane in last 37 years we have explored just not 46 expeditions. I have finished 75 expeditions in Himalayas. Batch of truckers from Bangalore. 9 people died in the expedition. These bloggers you should not follow. You should follow professional bodies or passionate bodies. Mysuru is blissful with Chamudi Hills, so they get mountains here to climb and to experience the challenges.
Namaskar and welcome to Philos Media present Sadhakara Hadiyali, a special program. I am Yeshi, a student of post-graduation in mass communication and journalism in St. Philomena College, Mysuru. Today we are happy to have presence of renowned adventure enthusiast Mr. Tiger Solanki. Welcome to our show, sir.
Thank you.
Tiger sir is an adventure enthusiast who has been pursuing adventure by passion since last 3 decades. He is visionary man who has done more than 46 plus expeditions in Himalayas in Sikkim, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand and Jammu and Kashmir. He has trained more than 4,500 personnel of the police department at Karnataka Police Academy, Mysuru, Police Training College, Gulbarga, Police Training School, Channapatna, from Chief Inspector, Maldives, Pondicherry Police Officer, Deputy Superintendent Police, Sub-Inspector and Constable since last 1 decade. Once again, welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you.
First of all, I wanted to ask you that what inspired you to take adventure as your profession? And at the same time, when I go through your website, I got to know about that Tiger Adventure Foundation. And for that, can you please share more on it?
Okay. When I started doing adventure in 1970s, so I was not knowing what adventure is, and it was not like in those days in 70s adventure was not a open field sports like thing. We used to wander in the Chamudi Hills in Mysuru. We are blessed with the beautiful hills here, so we used to just wander in the forest here and there. And later stage of life when we all in high school days in St. Philomena's High School, I started the adventure journey from St. Philomena's High School in 1987. So almost you can say it is 37 plus years now.
Yes.
And the journey what we started as a small adventure like exploring in the Western Ghats. And from down the lane in last 37 years we have explored just not 46 expeditions. I have finished 75 expeditions in Himalayas. Might be in India, might be in Nepal, might be in Tanzania. So like this we have done many expeditions. And what count we keep is expeditions what we go in the Himalayan ranges. So almost like we have taken 1,500 plus participants to the Himalayas, and most of them who are in the age group of 12 to 18. And of late, since post-COVID, we are having a drop in the students community coming in the expeditions. So we are having little adults, and in adults we are having people. We had last expedition, we had Pangarchula, which is a 15,000 feet height. We had a gentleman who was 70 years old. Okay, so age is not a number. Age is just a bracket, you can say. Anybody who is willing to come and who has got that zeal and mental preparedness to climb the mountains, they can do it by just by pushing themselves physically. They can do it. That is what I can say. And Tiger Adventure Foundation, which was started in 1998, it was little slack in between for a few years. And in 2013, again it got recouped, and again it is for last 11 years it is going very strong. And I have been in the going to the mountains consecutively for last 24 years, leading expeditions to the Himalayas, or might be Nepal, or might be Africa also. So off late journey is doing good, and things are getting good going, rather you can say. Youths are participating more in numbers. When we started officially in 2001, the participation of students are from Karnataka was just something like 0.3%. Now we Kannadigas are from people from Karnataka. Our ratio has increased substantially, almost like you can say 67% of the strength of the total adventure population which happens in the country. We are most leading, you can say. Next comes Maharashtra, then Gujarat, like this consecutively. And of late, what we can see is Bangaloreans more in number participating in the expeditions, or might be the local trucks also.
Yes, sir. So, you know, at southern people, when they visit to or here South Himalayas, and they may have some problem with their oxygen, taking oxygen and well. So through that kind of problem, how do you manage on that thing? Because you have some student as well with you, right? So that's where how do you manage with that thing?
Okay, this is a nice question basically because when you go to the mountains, you will see many people coming across AMS happening now and then. And what we do is we prepare them mentally and physically here, almost like for 1 month. There will be rigorous training for them here. And it is just not what you say, uh, like how you have your school curriculum. Like here also we have a curriculum where they start from a normal, if a normal person comes with no physical background, we make them in 1 month such a perfection as far as our requirement is concerned. First day he will not be able to even run 1 kilometer. So what we do is we make him run 500 meters. Next 500 meters we make him walk. Like we prepare him 300 meters, then 300 meters, then 300 meters. Like walking, jogging, walking, jogging, walking, jogging. In a period of 1 month endurance, we make sure that the finale, the 30th day, we'll have something called Josh Run. In that Josh Run, he'll be able to run 10 kilometers in 1 hour. Okay, and in between we take them to Chamandi Hills, might be Kunti Hills nearby, might be some countryside jogging here. So we prepare them physically and at the same time we prepare them mentally also, because mental preparedness is more important. Everything is there in the brain or in the mind, you can say. So we have something called neuro-linguistic programming. What we do is we call an NLP expert, and he will make sure that you go through that process of what it is actually. And like you start from here today and imagine that you're climbing the peak and he will descend you down, and by the time the whole session is over in 45 minutes, he would have climbed the peak mentally and he would have come down. So when he goes there, it is said that the more you sweat in the plains, the more you enjoy in the mountains. So physical preparedness here in the plains is more important than when you go there. You feel like, okay, this is nothing, yeah, it is doable. So that kind of he should be doing there, going there and enjoying the spirit of adventure, what is most needed.
And so, are there any specific skill that you think every adventurer should master?
Before that, I want to tell you about the AMS. You said how they overcome. Every day we climb 1,500 feet only. It is just not like you run a course in your academics. I finish it within 3 days, the whole course, and I do it up. No, here everything is step by step. So every day you climb 1,500 feet to 2,000 feet, and by the time you reach the summit, is 5th day you reach the summit. So your body would have got acclimatized, and the water intake inside your body sufficiently it is pumped by the candidate himself, and by the time he reaches, he will not have any AMS problem. Till date today, in last 37 years of my experience, I have not given a tablet called Diamox to any of the participants going to the mountains. That is the history we maintain, and otherwise many of them they take Diamox and all those things, but we have not given any of those high altitude medication to anybody to make them realize that they are suffering from AMS.
So you have explored many places, right? So during that time, have you ever faced life-threatening situation in one of your journey? And if so, how can you handle it?
Okay, I remember 2010 we were in a place called Darchula on the Indo-Nepal border, and it is in Uttarakhand region. Darchula. There is two Darchula. One is in Nepal and other is in Indian side. So it is a two villages, one line, one Kali River dividing the whole country. So it is that side Nepal, this side is India, and we went for an expedition called Adi Kailash expedition. This is on the way to Manasarovar.
Mhm.
So we went there, and basically when we started from Mysore, it was drizzling. So in other way you can say it's a showers of blessings.
Yeah.
And when we reached Delhi also, it was drizzling. Then the stigma starts. Okay, it's drizzling in Bangalore, it is showers, blessing showers, you can say. And drizzling in Delhi, still we say it is blessing showers. And as we boarded from Delhi to Kathgodam, Kathgodam also was a journey where almost like traveling for 7-8 hours we reached there. There also it was drizzling only. So we said, ठीक है यार, जो भी होगा देखा जाएगा. We'll see what happens. Then probably when we reached the Mirti base camp, there also it was drizzling. Then we said, what's happening? We don't know. What is awaited? We don't know. But let's see. So the commandant of the ITBP sitting there, he said, Mr. Solanki, you have tough times ahead. He said, ये तो चलता है सर, एडवेंचर में तो ऐसे भी, this is part and parcel of the life. So nothing much to worry, and we'll go on, sir. Don't worry. And I remember when we reached Darchula, we procured the ration from there, and we were almost like from Darchula, almost like you can see the other side of the village where we were supposed to cross, and from there we were supposed to take a jeep and go for the Narayana ashram. So there, what I encountered is a whole lot of mountain had slipped down, and ITBP who was supposed to, we were going in ITBP buses. So then they escorted us. We were handling their guns, and they were carrying our logistics and interpretation like this, and we crossed over to other side, almost like 4 kilometers on the broken hill patch. Then when we reached there, jeeps were waiting there for us, no doubt. But after that, the journey was quite, you can say exciting, you can say, because one of my friend who was sitting on the right side of the on the valley side, he said, "Sir, just have a look this side." When we had a look that side, you can see the Tirupati Patala down there. So it was like this, and just small one mistake of the driver can put you 1,000 feet down in the valley side. And I said, enjoy the scene. So you should boost the morale of the participants like this.
Yeah.
You should not drown them in the fear consciousness that if your tall it falls off, you are gone. You are the first one to go. So it was just a small journey of 25 kilometers, and the duration taken was just 3 hours. So you can imagine 25 kilometers has taken 3 hours. So that was that pathetic the road was. And but still we reached Narayana ashram in the evening, and we stayed in the tents. And by the time we could open our logistics, it started drizzling again. The whole lot of logistics got messed up. But we were carrying something called our emergency food, which came to our rescue in the night time, and we ate that and we slept. In the next day morning, when we woke up to see what has happened to our logistics, everything was messed up. Atta with the sugar and atta, everything got messed up, and somehow we could manage, and we could cook some puris and aloo, and we just pushed off to the next camp, Gala camp. But by the time we could reach Gala camp, rather you can say we didn't reach the Gala camp itself. We got stuck in between, and because it was a torrential rains throughout the day, and no lunch packets in our hands, just we had some 2 puris or 4 puris in the morning, and we trekked for the whole distance of 16 kilometers in the rain, and carrying something like 20 kilos plus bag on our backpack. And we were all hardcore people. It was not just like normal students. We were all instructors only. And by the time it was almost like 6 or 7 in the evening when they said we are not able to test the location. And the group was consisting of 24 people. So it was split into 4 groups. So one group which was ahead, our group which was ahead, could not locate the location where we are supposed to go. So by the sunset, we said, no, this is not the safe time to explore anymore. So we mounted on a tree. We climbed on a tree and saw one patch of white building. Then we said there might be some temple there. In the forest, you will find only temples or might be some abandoned buildings. And when we reached there, when we found that there was a house. So my friend Mr. Suresh said, "Sir, some slippers are here." And I said, "Okay, we'll just knock at the door." And when we knocked at the door, the couple from the house, they came out, and they said, "What can I do for you?" People in the mountains are so warm in welcoming, extending their hospitality. They fed all the 24 mouths there. And next day morning, when we offered the money, they said, "No, money can't buy everything here. It is only the warmth of the people which can buy everything here. But people in the cities, what we presume is by paying money, you can get everything In the mountains, you can't buy anything for money. It is just the hospitality and the warmth of the people only can buy everything for you in life. And like that, we went to the Gala camp next day morning. And after that, we got a SOS saying that ITBP said, please vacate that camp before 600 hours in the morning and reverse back to the base camp, Narayan Ashram. Because ahead was awaiting some challenges, they said reverse back. So 6 a.m. in the morning, we all reverted back. Shop, we left that place. And that was the preemptive calculation of the weather forecast. That something unholiness can happen there. So we all came back to the Narayan after the whole day's trek. Just morning we had some conflicts, nothing more than conflicts. We reversed back for 16 kilometers, 18 kilometers back to the base camp. When we went there, the people in Narayan, they said, sir, you are lucky chaps. You are lucky chaps. I said, what happened? All these people who were left behind, who didn't listen to the call of the ITBP, they all 32 students got washed away in the cloudburst. Okay, so you are lucky chaps, you all came alive. So when we came back to the Narayan, they said, sir, इधर खाने के लिए तो कुछ है नहीं. You have nothing to eat. Only thing is I can give you ration food. What is ration food? 2 chapatis and 1 bowl of rice, small bowl of rice. So having not eaten for the previous night properly, next day morning properly, next day afternoon properly, next day night properly, almost like 36 hours we have not taken anything properly. And we are running on only short supplies. And when we said, Abhi kya hoga? Then they said, this is as much I can provide because no supplies are coming from the town. And after having those, like you eat rice, I eat chapati. So whatever you wish, you eat, I gave my chapati to you or you give my rice to me. And we somehow shared all these things, we ate. Next day morning breakfast, there no breakfast. I can give you only black tea. No milk tea also, black tea. So he gave black tea and he said, okay, now you can leave. We said, where is the jeep? They said, sir, the jeep portion what you are supposed to have driven, come here. That land has slipped down and you will have to walk down the next 25 kilometers again. So again, next 25 kilometers we walked down. So we reached there by evening 7. Morning 6 we left. 7 o'clock we reached the next destination. Anticipating that patch what we walked down 4 kilometers earlier before coming to the ashram. That patch would have been repaired and it would have been stabilized. The ITBP chaps who were standing there to receive us, he said, I'm sorry sir, you will have to walk another 4 kilometers. So that 25 plus 4, 29 kilometers in a day, you walked in the rain. It was a trauma. It was a trauma. When you reach the next destination after crossing the 4 kilometers, people were exhausted and dehydrated. You have water everywhere, but you cannot drink a sip of water. So that is the whole trauma of the expedition. Rather, you can say the times which can challenge you and which can challenge your energies, which can challenge your patience. That is what adventure teaches you. You should have patience in life. You should not get excited. You should not get excited for any of the good things happening, and you should not get angry at any of the shortcomings which can happen in your life.
So, as you have mentioned, sir, you have explored some part of Nepal and some part of Tanzania, right? As well as you have explored most part of the Himalaya region in India as well, right? So, through that journey, what kind of a difference that you have find throughout your adventure? I mean, in Africa as well as compared to Nepal and India, what kind of a difference?
See, you see movies, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah,
okay.
Yes,
You like Jacqueline?
Yeah.
Okay. You like Priyanka Chopra?
Yes.
Okay. Every actress has got different features. Okay. Like this, every place has got different features. You go to Ladakh. Ladakh is a desert mountain.
Yes.
You go to Himachal Pradesh. It is a different white mountains. And if you go to Uttarakhand, there are green mountains and white mountains both the sides. You go to Kashmir, you can see beautiful green valleys there. Okay. Or you go to Tanzania. Tanzania has got volcano mountains there. Okay. Like this, every place has got its own charm. And you cannot justify that this place is good, that place is beautiful. And a smallest of the smallest place might be a Kunti Betta here, which is just 40 kilometers from here, can be challenging one if it rains. If it is dry, it is good. Just 2 days back I've been there. Probably last 40 years of my experience, Kunti Betta was not that tough. But when I went last Sunday, the bushes of 6 feet, 7 feet tall bushes, when you make the way for yourself, and when you are a lead person, you take the risk for the whole team.
Yes, sir.
And when you are making the way, maximum injuries is for the person who is leading the team, and the least injury is the person who is sweeping from behind. But he will have the most challenges of pushing the people up. But I am leading in the front, so it has got its own features. Okay, making the way for the others to come, and the person who is coming from back is pushing the team. It's a challenging also. It's just not that what happens usually. We youths actually rather, or we individuals we always think about ourselves. We don't see about our fellow mate. Okay, so what is happening in the last? But here in adventure, that is what it teaches you. The first man leading, you should look out for the last man. What is happening to him also? That is most important. His safety is your prime concern, and within that loop, you should make sure everything is okay.
So, are there any unexplored places or unique challenges on your bucket list?
Yeah, I had planned for Mount Elbrus this time.
Mount Everest.
Mount Elbrus in Russia,
Oh, yes.
which happens to be the highest peak in
Yeah,
Europe.
yes, sir.
Okay. As of now, thought of going, but this year itself. But I don't think this 2024 will happen. So probably next year. It's there in our plans, but I don't see much of hype in climbing Mount Elbrus also, because see, like how you have Mount Everest, then you have Aconcagua, then you have Kilimanjaro, then you have Elbrus. Then there are 7 mountains, which peaks, 7 peaks, which makes one's caliber going up, something like that, or you can say putting your image up. But I don't see anything as image up activities, because every mountain has got its own charm. Might be Elbrus, might be Kilimanjaro, or might be Everest also. So, as such, mountaineering activities in India is getting a boost. But about what is most awaited, I don't know, because like Elbrus is just hardly 18,000 feet. Like this in Ladakh, we have 20,000 plus feet mountains also, which we have climbed. But as far as height is concerned, that is a different story. But we have many mountains in Spiti, or in Ladakh, or in Himachal, or in Uttarakhand, or in Sikkim, which are 20,000 plus, 21,000 plus. So only what makes it more exciting is, I have done expedition in Russia, which is the highest peak in Europe. I just give a tag like that. That's all.
So, sir, if I'm a traveler, so if I face something bad, so what are the helplines that I need to contact during my adventure?
Okay. See, for example, what is my experience is, for example, I'm Dorji. I'm traveling from Mysore to Ladakh. Might be Ladakh. Okay. So in between, if I'm traveling by road or if I'm traveling by flight, so what we do is we nominate somebody here in Mysore in a group. If you're traveling in a group, okay, what we do is I leave my number to him, and if something goes wrong, for example, I board from Mysore. I board from Mysore by what means of transport? Might be a flying bus. What I do usually is I take a picture, I post it to the next emergency contact number. Also, he is kept in the loop that I am traveling by this bus. If something goes wrong, there is an accident happening on Mysore Bangalore road, and one fly bus has fallen into a George. Okay, God forbid, nothing happens like that to you. Okay, it has fallen into a George. What happens? There is a panic behind. Dorji has gone to the program, and the bus has fallen into the George. But fortunately, the Dorji, what bus he was traveling, that bus has not fallen off. But the fly bus which has fallen off, there's a different fly bus. So if you have left that bus number or the front screenshot of the bus with your emergency contact number, then you will say, this is not Dorji's bus. This is somebody else's bus. Okay. And in case, if you are going from Mysore, God forbid, nothing happens like this. If something like this happens, keep the district administration informed about. See, before I go, what I do is I keep the police commissioner or the deputy commissioner of Mysore in the loop that we are going there for an expedition like this. So might not be district commissioner or might not be police commissioner, but I keep one government official in the loop saying that we are going for an expedition like this. So anything going wrong, we keep him updated. Yes, left the place from this time at this hour with this bus number. with so many people across on the boat. Okay, so what happened? Recently, we had an accident in Uttarakhand in June month in Shastratal expedition. What happened? One batch of truckers from Bangalore, 9 people died in the expedition. So the whole lot of chaos was there. So what they did, they contacted the IMF secretary, okay, on a satellite phone, saying that this has happened. Emergency contact were placed with the SSP Kashi, Uttar Kashi. He took the help of the our army jawans, army chaps, and they sent a chopper for help. Okay, so you have to keep the local loop into your consideration before going for any expedition. It's just not you go like a vagabond and you end up in a shit and then you lose your life, and happened like this in the past also. Might be this we bloggers, what you say, bloggers who give a big round of big frame of activities what they show you, and by taking that into consideration you also go and try to explore that. But sometimes accidents can happen. In 2021, I'm not wrong, one lady and one boy, when they came there with the place in Himachal Pradesh, in place called Abda Pass, there was a cloud burst. This boy somehow escaped. He left that lady there itself. Okay, they are bloggers. What happened? The lady died. The whole route was closed for a few days. So the people who have booked the expedition, they lost money. So what happens? These bloggers you should not follow. You should follow professional bodies or passionate bodies. Then only your any program can be a successful one. Just following the blogger, sometimes they mislead you. Okay, so you have to see what they are quoting you first, and you have to take the local support first. Listen to the locals' experience. Okay, I might be 37 years of experience in the mountains, but still I take the local support. You know why? Because locals will know the topography of the place much better than me in case of emergency. They will know the shortcuts in case of emergency, how to overcome how to cut the distance and go for shortcuts and come down. Okay, so they will be knowing better than us. We will be following the route which Google says, but locals will follow the route what they have the access to get down faster. So all these parameter counts. So local support is a must. Okay, in other words, we call as ISO. Usually ISO means they say Indian International Standard Organization and all those things. But we interpret in such a way like I stands for ignorance, the place where you are going. You are ignorant about that place. Okay, so ignorance is not blissful. So you have to follow the local data given by them to you. Okay, and S is for show off. Usually what happens if somebody is saying, I have done all these things, the show off is there. You should not do the show off. Okay, and O is for overconfidence. So what happens? I have done all these things. What great about this? I can do this without a local support. Also, I can do this. And it is hardly small stretch. We'll explore, man. Exploring is different. Exploring is different using compass, using navigation methods. That is meant for professional people to do it. But for the bloggers or for the common man, it is not exploring. It is misadventure you are doing by going like this. So always take a local guide with you and listen to his advice meticulously, religiously, and go there, do safe adventure and come back safely.
So, for some people, they wanted to travel solo, right? So what advice do you want to give for them?
See, traveling solo is different. Going into the mountains for expedition solo is not advisable. See, for example, what happens? I'll give a small example in Mysuru, in Chamandi Hills, also can be a disaster. Okay, we had 2 gentlemen going to the Chamandi Hills here, and this is I'm talking about 80s. What accident happened? So okay, so they went to the mountain to the hillock to climb the rocks, and one fellow fell down. This fellow, out of panic, he ran away and came back, and this fellow died. You're talking about solo. Even if 3 people go, it is not advisable. So what we say, a group of 3 is a minimum, 5 is good to go. 3 is minimum, 5 is good to go. Why 3 and 5 matches is, in case Dorji goes for a climb, there is second person available for him to support him. Something goes wrong to Dorji, a help is there to call for help. Third person is there to call for help. The second person can assist you in recouping yourself. Okay, to recoup you, he may be of assistance. So what we do, if the fourth person is there, at least he can do CPR if required. If the fifth person is there, if the fifth man is there, if one person is injured, four people can carry you back to the safety. So going to the mountains solo is not at all responsible. And of late, what we see, I told you, bloggers they go, and might be their fate is good. Something it goes wrong, then they are in the cat 60.
Sir, what preparation has to be taken by someone if they wanted to climb on a mountain?
Okay. Basically, before going to the any expedition or might be trekking or might be any mountain, they have to plan out for the destination. Okay, first they have to plan the destination. Once they plan the destination, they have to find out the right agency. Right agency is most important. Otherwise, you can be lured into a false narrative. So this is most important, and physical endurance is also important. They have to prepare physically before going for any expedition, and might be a little bit of cardio, might be a little bit of toughening your calf muscles. Okay, this two concept is very much required before going to mountains. And Mysuru is blissful with Chamundi Hills, so they get mountains here to climb and to experience the challenges. And you have Kuntibetta nearby range where you can feel the spirit of what summit is going to be like this. And medical, just don't take a medical certificate from any doctor. Okay, you got to make sure that all the parameters are met before you go for expedition. If you go to any doctor, they will give you a certificate for just a price of 100 rupees. But what I suggest is don't take that certificate which is not worth it. You have to satisfy, you are cheating yourself. So you have to satisfy yourself saying that I am medically fit, then only you go to the mountains. Otherwise, you will become a liability to the agency or to the person with whom you are going. Okay. And once you go there, don't hush up. Acclimatization is the most important factor of any mountaineering expedition. Okay, you go there, you got to acclimatize in that place at least for 2 nights before you start for the expedition. Usually in the hush up of the leaves, in the absence of leaves, what we do, we skip the acclimatization day. Then what happens? You have the AMS situation rising up. That should not happen. Okay, and don't try to jump one camp to another camp. Enjoy the whole journey itself. The journey you are going, why you are going there all the way is to explore, to see the nature rather than reaching the destination. So you got to explore the nature, see the destination, enjoy the flora and fauna, click pictures. People may say that by clicking pictures, you are wasting time. But I say by clicking pictures, you are getting more acclimatized. So clicking pictures is one way of acclimatization, and you going slowly is also another way. Nobody is going to give you a gold medal by reaching the destination, next camp. Okay, so on the peak you reach, you are not doing anything great about it, but you are conquering yourself. So that is what it is. And after going there, you should not litter the place. You should leave only your footmarks. No wastage should be left behind. Might be vegetable waste, might be a plastic waste. Nothing should be left behind, because the species on the mountains, whenever you go there, if they see the vegetable waste, which is not a common phenomena in that place, okay, that is a new foreign body for them. They try to explore that. Okay, so what we suggest is either you bring it back or you give it to the animal which comes along with you, like in the name of mule, which comes along with you, or you feed it. If you leave it back there, might be some species of wolf, might be bear, might be. If they find something new, they will try to hop on that in the next days to come. So it can be a man-animal conflict in days to come. So we should not leave any of our belongings, the traces of our going there. Only footmarks should be left behind. And otherwise, human excreta, what we are doing there, it should be closed up properly. And otherwise, that can be another endangered thing for the environment.
Sir, since social media is a trend nowadays, and so how has it impacted your adventures? And through that, do you think it changed how people feel about exploring, or do you want to pursue more into adventures?
See, I'll tell you one thing. Earlier, people who used to go to the mountains or into the wilderness, they used to be either a photographer or a naturalist. Okay. Now, Tom, Dick, and Harry are going into the mountains. Okay. Just for the sake of your Instagram or Facebook or your Snapchat or whatever social media you have. And as far as I am concerned, social media is a boon or a ban, you can say. But I think social media has really destroyed the nature. Okay, because if Dorji has gone to destination, okay, Dorji's projection of a picture in such a way might be good one. Okay, I try to imitate the same thing by going to the same destination. You don't go to a different destination. You try to go to the same place what Dorji has explored. You are not exploring another thing. So the same place is getting dumped. The number of people, visitors to that place is getting dumped. So that should not happen. That should not happen. If that happens, then the importance of that place, that image what you have captured, okay, will have a retrospective effect on that place.
So through that, I have another question. And in social media, we have seen something like safe mountains and safe Himalaya. These are going through the social media as well. So about that, what can you say?
Okay, let me give a rational answer to that. Post-COVID, there was nothing called winter expeditions. Nothing much of winter expeditions used to happen. Expeditions used to be like something like 2013 and beyond. It has to be only expedition bound by the conditions of the mountain and time framed. Okay. Nowadays, expeditions, trekking, hiking, exploring things are happening 24/7 into 365 days. Okay. Till 2019, there was some rationale behind exploring programs. Okay, exploring the mountains. Post-COVID 2020, what I saw, because 2020 I was also in the one of the mountain ranges. So what happened in Uttarakhand? People were frustrated sitting at home. Okay, so there was a huge boom in the adventure market. Okay, so what I saw in the place called Sakri in particular, there was a boom, and I never saw a growth of such a bad growth of adventure tourism in that place. Something like in one season, there was a footfall of 1 lakh people. Okay, what is global warming? What is global warming? One small topic I'm telling you. If 1 lakh people come to that place used to have the glaciers up till the month of July. Okay, now that place has got no glacier after January itself. Okay, so what happened? 1 lakh people coming there, and they're coming there. They're not just coming there. They are coming. They are cooking. They are eating. They are spoiling the place with your waste garbage and with your human excreta. What happens when the human excreta gets mixed up with the glacier? The same water which is flowing down. Okay, it is contaminated water drinking down the stream in the riverside. So, who is doing this? The educated class of this country. Okay, are we responsible citizens as such when we go to the mountains? Are we doing our basic duty of protecting the nature or the environment? This is a big question mark. This you have to put an exclamatory mark and leave it to the literate people who go to the mountains and soil the nature. Okay, it might be global warming, what you're talking about. This is the retrospective effect we have in whatever places you go. There is a huge growth of adventure tourism everywhere now. The same place, I went in 22 again, 21 I went to some other place, in a place called Brahmatal in Lower Jung region, in the same Uttarakhand only. That place was little dry in 2020. 21, that also boomed. Okay. 22, I went to Sakri again. Brahmatal was boom, Sakri was downfall. So what tourists, the flow was, they have seen in 20 and 21, anticipating that the locals invested money in the place. That is a Rajaji National Park. What happened in 2003 or 2 series, I mean to say, when we went that side for the first time. Not even a light were allowed to be burnt in that forest. Okay, that's or electricity lights. After you cannot burn it. Okay, but whereas now you have loudspeakers coming. You have different types of vehicles zooming inside the forest, which is all a wrong trend. Which is just a showbiz. What I told you in other part, money can't buy everything in the mountains. Here, same thing. They are protecting the mountain people in the mountains that money can buy everything. Money can buy everything for them. So what has happened? People in the mountains, they have become greedy. Their honesty has been challenged. Okay, they have been lured into this, saying that everything can be bought by the source of money. So they invested hugely in 22. 23 there is no tourist. So 23 there is no tourist, and 24 December is awaiting. They are awaiting a good chunk of people to come. They are bombarding in the social media about the tourism, about the old pictures been put just to lure the people, but it cannot be lured. It cannot be done.
Yes. As we know, adventure is kind of exploring new things, right? So through that, you have explored many of places, and in your exploring the time, what kind of common mistakes or common difficulties that you have faced, and for the local people, how do you manage with the local people who are residing there at their native place, and how do you communicate with them?
See, we went to a place called Meghalaya.
Meghalaya.
Okay. I'm ignorant about the Khashi language.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So I don't know Khashi language,
Yes.
and they don't know English.
Uh-huh.
They don't know Hindi.
Uh-huh.
I know Hindi, but I'm a non-local, rather you can say ignorant about the language where I'm going. So probably while going to the destination, what we're supposed to go from Shillong to that, there's a place called Little Blue.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we were supposed to go to the destination. We lost the track,
Mm-hmm.
and the guide who was supposed to leading us, he just went ahead 5 kilometers ahead of us. Though we had walkie-talkies, everything, but still we failed to reach his expectation, and we went into a deviation of 5 kilometers in the reverse direction. Okay, instead of going left, we went to the right. Okay, we took a different path. We ended up in a different village.
Mm-hmm.
Then we found out that this is not the place where we are supposed to come. Then if they have given a different name to the campsite. Okay, so then we said this is not the name we are finding it here. When we are trying to interact with them, we are not able to understand our language, and what they are interpreting, we are not able to understand their language. Then somehow one person who knew Hindi little bit, then he said, no, this is not the place you are supposed to come. You near that river, you have to take a left hand. So by the time we came back to that river, it was almost like 8 o'clock in the night. Then we take another left hand. By the time we reached the camp, it was 9:30, 10 in the night. So challenges are many in the mountains. Basically, wherever you go, you should know the local inhabitant language, which is mandatory for you to interact with them, or else you will be left behind.
Yes. So here's my last question, sir. Is there any advice that you would like to give someone who wants to live a life of adventure and who want to pursue their profession on this thing only?
Okay, let me clarify this actually. I am an adventure enthusiast by passion,
Yes.
not by profession. By profession, I'm a banker.
Mhm.
I work in non-banking finance sector, and I do adventure by passion only. And what it says people is, don't take adventure as a profession, because till such time you are hale and hearty, till such time your body movements are good, you may eke out your livelihood. In case something misadventure happens in adventure, okay, then what happens about your future days to come? That is a big question mark. Okay, like this we have many examples, and many people have ruined their life by taking adventure as a profession. But nevertheless, nowadays you have many adventure companies coming up, okay, which has taken care of the livelihood of so many people. Might be n number of companies after 2013 in last 11 years, which has really created a massacre of adventure, you can say, or adventure tourism, or a huge massacre of negative tourism has happened in the adventure field. Otherwise, earlier it used to be, I said, naturalists and photographers only used to go and explore, and the conservation was good actually. But after the commercial companies coming in, start a company, and you can eke out your livelihood also in this manner, because there is always a floating flow of youngsters coming, working, and they going out, and they are forming their own company. and they're doing it like this. But in India, as such, I think we have something like 1,000 plus companies now who are taking out their livelihood through adventure. So earlier it was only hardly few, but now it is like a huge market of adventure.
That was our today's episode, and thank you so much, Tiger sir, because through this interview or through this episode, we have learned so many things, and through your experience, and we got to know how we need to make the things right when we are trying to pursue our thing in adventure. And thank you for that. And at the same time, thank you for your valued time and sharing your personal and professional experience with us. And through that episode, I hope this will boost the younger generation to achieving or pursue their skill in a good way. And for our viewers, please don't forget to subscribe our channel and press the bell icon for more updates. Thank you all.